Hey, what's up guys? This is Randy from Rhandz Graphix. Welcome back to my After Effects tutorial channel, and in today's tutorial, we will be creating this.
Let me start by creating a new composition, and I will name it placeholder 1. Third 40 by 2160, 30 frames per second, and the duration I will make it 10 seconds. I will open the project assets, open the video clips. I will drop down this video clip 1 into the timeline. Press S on my keyboard for the scale. I'll just scale it up. Then go to composition, create a new composition. I will name it transition 1. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second. The duration I will change this to 2 seconds. Click OK. I will open this folder other. Just highlight this color guide. Go to your shape tool and draw a shape like this. Open the contents and rectangle. Open the rectangle path 1. Disable the scale proportion here. Change the X value to 900 and the Y value, change this to 2500. Then open the transform rectangle 1. Change the skew to 25. I will just zoom it out a bit. And then I will change the position of my shape on the left side. I think that should be good enough. Effects and preset, go to perspective, drop shadow. I will change the distance here to 90. The softness, I will change this to 200. I'll go back to the project. I will change this color by taking up this color picker and choose this color. Click OK. Then I will highlight this layer again. Press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. Change the color code here to cyan. Expand it. Go to contents and rectangle. Transform rectangle 1, then move this shape on the right side. I think that should be good enough. And change the color here. Take the color picker and probably change this kind of color. Click OK. But you can choose whatever color you want. You can also interchange the colors. It is up to you guys because you have all the options to change. I'll close it. Move this layer at the bottom. So now you can see that there's a shadow here. So now I will again highlight this layer, press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. Then I will open the layer, go to contents, rectangle, transform rectangle 1. I will again move this shape on the right side. Probably like that is good enough. I will change this color by picking up this color picker, choose this color, click OK. Then I will highlight this layer, press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it, expand it, go to contents and rectangle 1, go to transform rectangle 1. I will move the shape on the right side. I think that one is good enough for me. Then change the color by taking this color picker, choose this color. Now I will highlight this layer, press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it, expand this layer. Go to contents, go to rectangle 1, expand this transform rectangle 1, and again I will move it on the right side. And then I will change this color. And again I will highlight this layer and press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it and expand this layer. Expand the contents, go to rectangle 1. expand the transform rectangle one. I will move this layer on the right side. I think that should be good enough, and all I have to do is to close this one again. Then move my playhead to probably 15 frames. Highlight all these layers. Press P on my keyboard for the position. Create a keyframe by hitting this stopwatch here. Then move my playhead at the beginning of my timeline. Highlight these 3 layers and move it down like this. And also highlight these top 3 layers and move it up like this. Then move your playhead to the 1 second duration and move these layers down like this. And then highlight the below 3 layers and move it up. Then I will highlight all these keyframes. Press F9 to open the graph editor. Highlight the corners here to see the handles and drag it on the left side. So let's see and preview it. So this is what we want, okay? In order to create a little bit of variation, all I have to do is to move these keyframes here. So now I'm gonna go to composition, create a new composition. I will name it intro. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second, and I will change the duration here to 5 seconds. Click OK. Highlight this transition one and go to edit, duplicate it. This duplicated transition 2, I will drop it down into the timeline. Right click my mouse and rename this BG or background. I will right click my mouse, go to time, enable time remapping. I will extend this layer up to the end of my timeline and also the keyframe. Then I will open this BG, highlight all these layers, press U on my keyboard to see the keyframes, and I will highlight these keyframes and delete it. I will go back to the intro and let's see what happens. That's what we want. Grab the text tool and type RJ Café. I'm using GG font, regular, 200 pixels. Center it horizontally and vertically. Then I will go back to the shape tool and just draw a shape like this. Highlight this RG Café text, right click my mouse and pre-compose it. I will name it RG Café text. Move all the attributes into the new composition, press OK. I will also pre-compose the shape layer and I will name it mask. Move all the attributes into the new composition, click OK. Highlight this RG Café text, press P on my keyboard for the position, drag it down until this text is fully covered by the shape. Move my playhead to about 1 second duration, hit the stopwatch here to create a keyframe. Move my playhead to about 1 second and 10 frames duration, center it vertically to create a keyframe. Then move my playhead again to 4 second duration, hit this tiny diamond icon to create a keyframe. Move my playhead to about 10 frames. Drag down my text into the shape to hide it. Change the track matte here to alpha inverted matte. As you can see, on. So we will try to preview it. That's what we want, okay? So now I'm gonna go to my project asset, drop down this RJ Café PNG into the timeline. I will right away pre-compose it and I will name it RJ Café logo. Move all the attributes into the new composition, click OK. Then I will press S on my keyboard for the scale. I will scale it down to 8%. Press P on my keyboard for position, drag it up. I will toggle switches modes in here and I will enable the transformation switch. Go to effects and preset, go to generate fill. I will just change the color here to this color. I will press T on my keyboard for the opacity. Move my playhead 1 second and 10 frames. Change this to 0. And hit the stopwatch here to create a keyframe. Move my playhead to about 20 frames. And I will change this to 100%. Then go again to 4 seconds. Maybe 4 seconds and 10 frames. Hit this tiny diamond icon to create a keyframe. Then move your playhead to about 4 seconds and 20 frames. Change this to 0. So let's preview it. I will press P for the position. I'll just drop it down a bit like this. And go to composition. Create a new composition. I will name it shapes. I will just put 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second, and the duration, I will change this to 10 seconds. Click OK. Then again, grab the shape tool. Draw a shape like this. Open the contents. Expand the rectangle 1. Rectangle path. Disable the scale proportion here. Change this to 900. And the Y value, change this to 2500. Open the transform rectangle 1. And change the rotation here to 45 degrees. Change this position to negative 1764. On the X position, on the Y, change this to negative 764. I'll go back to the project panel, highlight this color guide, and I will just change the color here by checking this color picker and choose this color. Then click OK. I will highlight this shape layer, press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it, expand it. Go to rectangle 1, expand this transform rectangle 1 and change the position here to negative 1924. And on the Y axis, change this to negative 924. Again, highlight this color guide and I will change this color, choose this color. Then I will again highlight this layer, press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. Then I will expand it, go to contents, rectangle 1 and open this transform rectangle 1. Change the X position here to negative 1980. Then the Y axis, change this to negative 1148. I will again highlight this shape layer. I will change this color to this color. Then I will go to effects and preset, go to perspective and drop shadow. I will change the distance here to 38 and the softness I will change this to 200. I will highlight this drop shadow, go to edit and copy it. I will highlight this shape to layer and paste the drop shadow. Also this shape layer 1. Just go to edit and paste it. Highlight all these 3 layers. Move your playhead to about 1 second. Press P on your keyboard for the position and create a keyframe here by hitting this stopwatch. Then move back your playhead to the beginning of your timeline. Zoom it out a bit. And I will just move this layer outside of the canvas like that. I will just highlight this one by one and change the position of the anchor point. I want it at the center. Like that. So I will move my playhead to about 6 seconds. Highlight these keyframes. Move it this way. Again, I will move forward my playhead to about 12 frames. Highlight these keyframes. Move it on that duration. Highlight all these keyframes and press F9 to easy it. Then open the graph editor. I want the handles to be dragged on the left side. Close it. Then right click my mouse and pre-compose it. And I will name it shape up. Move all the attributes into the new composition. Click OK. Press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. I will highlight this shape up below. Right click my mouse, rename it. And I will just change this to down. Then go to layer, transform, and flip horizontal. We'll go back to layer. Go to transform and transform it by flipping it vertically. I will move my playhead to about 15 frames. Make a variation here by offsetting these layers. So I'm gonna grab my shape tool again and draw a shape like this. I will open and expand this rectangle 1. Go to rectangle path. Disable the scale proportion. Change the X value to 1624. And the Y value, change this to 616. Expand transform rectangle 1. Change the skew amount here to 25. I will highlight this shape layer, press Ctrl D on my keyboard to duplicate it, and press P on my keyboard for the position. Drag it on the right side a bit. Press my keyboard shift and hold it. I will double click this shape, change this to this size. I will drag it on the left side. I will highlight this shape layer too. Press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. I will press P on my keyboard for the position. Drag it on the right side. All I have to do is to highlight all these 3 shape layers, press P on my keyboard for the position, and move my playhead to about 3 seconds and 15 frames. Create a keyframe here by hitting the stopwatch. And move my playhead back to 2 seconds and 15 frames. I will move this shape out of the canvas. I will highlight these keyframes, press F9 to ease it. Open the graph editor. Highlight this corner in order to see the handle and grab the handle on the left side. Close it. Move back my playhead to about 2 seconds and 10 frames. I will highlight these keyframes. Move the keyframes on that side. Move my playhead here. Then move forward for another 5 frames. Highlight these keyframes. Then move it forward on that side. All I have to do is to highlight all these 3 shape layers, right click my mouse, pre-compose it. I will name it sliding shape. Move all the attributes into the new composition, click OK. So let's continue by grabbing this text tool. I will type take a break. I'm using Futura Bold regular at 72 pixels. Then I will again grab my text tool. I will type it's coffee time. Then I will just change the color here to white. Then the font size, I want it 60. Then I want to change this from regular to medium. I want to change the font here to Futura MDBT. And medium. Then again I will grab my text tool. So now I'm gonna have to copy and paste the text here. First I will highlight this text layer here. Change the paragraph style to right align text. And I will move it this way on the right side. Probably I'll move my playhead to about 3 seconds and 20 frames. I will highlight all these text layers. Hit this stopwatch to create a keyframe. Move back my playhead to about 3 seconds. And I will highlight these 3 text layers. And I will drag it on the left side until it's not seen on our canvas. Then I will highlight this text layer and expand it. I will add tracking on it. Hit the stopwatch in here to create a keyframe. Move back my playhead to about 3 seconds and increase the tracking amount. Change the color of this RG Café by taking this color picker and choose this color. I will highlight all these keyframes. Press F9 to ease it. Then open the graph editor and make your graph like this. Create a new composition and I will name it main 1. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second, and the duration is 10 seconds. I will open the project panel. I will drop down this placeholder 1 into the timeline. Go back to your project panel and drop down the shapes 1 into the timeline. Open the shape 1. Now I will go and open my project assets, expand this author, and drop down this color guide into the timeline. Press S on my keyboard for the scale. I'll just scale it up to 200 so I can see better. And I will just highlight it and drag it up. Highlight the sliding shapes and go to Effects and Preset. Go to Generate and add Gradient Ramp. Pick this color picker and choose this color for the start color, and for the end color I will choose this color. Move this anchor point here. Change this color to this color so that it's darker. Okay, go back to main 1. Move this main 1 composition outside of the folder assets. Create a new folder here, name it scene 1. highlight all these compositions and drag it into the scene 1 folder. Then I will create another folder and I will name it scene 2. Open the scene 1 and highlight all these compositions. Go to edit, duplicate it, and drag it down into the scene 2 folder. Close the scene 1 folder, open the scene 2. I will just open these compositions that I'm gonna be tweaking, okay? I'm just gonna take this one out of the folder because intro is different. It's not a part of the scene 1, okay? Open placeholder 2, delete this image. Go to assets, open the video clips, drag down this video clip 2 into the timeline. Open the shapes 2. I will highlight all this text, delete it. Also this color guide, I will delete it. I will highlight this sliding shape, go to layer, go to transform, flip horizontal. Then I will highlight this shape up, I will go to layer, transform, I will flip it vertically. This shape down, I will also highlight it, go to layer, go to transform, flip it horizontal. Then press P on my keyboard for the position, drag it up. Here I will place a text here, I will just copy this text. Grab my text, draw a line like this, paste it here. Change the color of this one, I want it white. I will change the right align to left align. Move this somewhere here. I will just make a little bit of adjustment here. Then the size of the font, I want it 72. Move my playhead about 3 seconds and 20 frames. Press P on my keyboard for the position. Then create a keyframe by hitting the stopwatch. Move back your playhead to about 3 seconds. Move your text outside of the canvas. I will expand this text layer and add tracking. Make a keyframe here on the tracking amount by clicking this stopwatch and move back my playhead to about 3 seconds. Change the tracking amount value here to 150. Then I will highlight these keyframes, press F9 to ease it. Open the graph editor. I will highlight this corner in order to see the handle and drag it on the left side. Go back to the main 2 composition. Open it up. All we have to do now here is to replace all the compositions from scene 1 folder to all the compositions to scene 2 folder. Okay, so I will first open this shapes 2. Press on my keyboard alt and hold it and replace the shape down by shape up 2. Then I will replace shape up by shape up 2. Replace sliding shapes by sliding shapes 2. Open main 2 and replace the shape 1 to shape 2. And also this placeholder 1, replace it with placeholder 2. Now go to composition, create a new composition, and I will name it final. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second, and the duration, I want it 23 seconds. Click OK. Drop down this intro into the timeline. Open the scene 1 and drop down the main one into the timeline. Move your playhead for about 4 and 29 frames. Then press open bracket key to move the main 1 layer. I will then close the scene 1 folder. Open the scene 2 and drop down this main 2 into the timeline. Then move forward your playhead to about 30 seconds and press open bracket key to move that main 2 layer. I'll go back to shape 1. I will open it up, put our playhead here. You can see our guide is still on, so all I have to do is to delete it. Then go back to final and preview it. So now guys, our tutorial is done and I hope that you have learned something on it. For those people who subscribe my channel, thank you very much. And for those who have not yet, please smash the button subscribe and like, comment, share it to your friends and press the notification bell so that you will not miss any video uploads that I'm going to be uploading in the future. So my thoughts for today guys is that if you have a strong will to learn, you definitely will learn. Thank you guys for watching and see you next time. God bless.